Hey everyone, it is Brian Kaz here, joined by my friend and business partner Sean Casey. Welcome to another WebFire Wednesday webinar. I hope all of you had a great New Year and Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. Yeah, so now it's basically the week afterwards, so back into action, I guess. So I'm sure many of you have thought of some New Year's resolutions or some action plans. I'm sure a lot of you have thought about, what you could do to grow your business or stuff that you could do to help with that. So in going with the flow on that, we thought we'd kind of gear this training call a bit more towards, some goals that you can do for your business in this new year by actually giving you a handful of action plans for a variety of different businesses. So regardless of what kind of business you're in or you're looking to start, we'll actually give you a handful of action plans for each one that you can do using WebFire and get results off of that right there. So some pretty good stuff on this call. And of course, if you have any other questions related to marketing or getting traffic or rankings or anything like that, feel free to ask those as well. As towards the end of the slides, we'll have tons of time for Q&A that we'll basically take questions live. And of course, Sean and Sharon are on this call too, where they'll be actually chatting answers and stuff back to you if you ask on the chat as well. But if we don't ask you there, we'll take questions live at the very end too. And of course, as always, you guys will have a chance to win some money at the end of this call as well. So without further ado, we can get the show on the road. So once again, this will be all about your business action plans and goals for the new year. And again, as most of you know, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is right now or a couple minutes past, we'll host a live training and/or Q&A call for WebFire members. These trainings will either feature myself, Brian Kaz, Sean Casey, both of us at once, or occasionally a featured special guest if we think their expertise would be of value to our members. Now, if you're here or you're registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each week so you don't forget. But if you can't make one, we'll have the recordings in the members area within a day of any of the calls under the training tab on the left side navigation bar. So if you click on the training, you'll have a drop down. Then if you click on the Wednesday webinars, you'll see a list of all the calls that we've done, with the most recent ones at the very top there. But again, there's a lot of them, so feel free to go through them. And if you just read the titles of them, they give you a pretty good idea of what the call's on. And again, you want to use these calls as an opportunity to get even more training, ask strategy type questions, get feedback, or make suggestions on what else you'd like to see or be trained on. So if there's anything that you think would be cool to learn, let us know, and we'll try to gear a future call towards that. Of course, on that note, also make sure to check out our prior training calls, as there's a ton of info already there, and a lot of you oftentimes are asking for more training on a particular topic that may have been covered in a lot of depth on a prior call, so make sure to check out those as well right there. And really quick, before we move on to the training, I want to briefly mention the WebFire member rules to success. Again, if you follow these, I think you should do perfectly fine. Step 1, follow the steps and the trainings that we have. We have a lot of trainings and a lot of info out there for you. Don't try to take a shortcut or anything like that. If you get stuck or lost again, revert back to the trainings that we have. Number 2, don't give up. And this means seek help when needed, but don't get too dependent. Oftentimes I see guys that looks like they're almost trying to find like an excuse to slow progress in their business. If you don't basically understand what a certain term means, or you get stuck on something simple, usually if you just Google the question, you'll find an answer within seconds. But oftentimes people don't take the time to do that, and that's what I call they'll basically write support, or they'll ask like a question that they could look up an answer to in seconds. So again, try to help yourself first because that's best, but if not, if you're truly stuck, again, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help you there, and our support really is top-notch there. And lastly is no whining or negative attitudes, because this, I think, is really the quickest way to fail. If you're looking for something to be down about or something to whine about or be negative about, you'll always find something. So, and whether it's in life or in business, I find that's just not the way to go about stuff. So now, with that aside, let's move on to our training with your business action plans for the new year. So I'll be going over a variety of action plans for the following business types, and then afterwards we'll have a longer Q&A for kind of any other questions you might have, whether it's stuff relevant to action plans for the new year or relevant maybe to a specific business of yours or anything like that. Anything you want, feel free to ask at the end there. So these are the business types that we'll cover. We'll cover affiliate marketing. We'll cover big ticket products, e-commerce sites. That includes like Shopify and all that right there. And then we'll also talk about action plans for your local business. Also, if you're selling web services to others, including if you're selling to local businesses, and also if you're just selling info products. And again, keep in mind, even if you're brand new to these, that's perfectly fine. Like affiliate marketing stuff, anyone can do, even if they're brand new. So it's not like you have to have an existing business to start these action plans. So first up is the affiliate marketing action plan. So if you don't already have a product in mind, you should use the keyword tool and the real-time lead finder to basically judge how lucrative a particular product or niche might be. And what I mean by this is, if you use the keyword tool and you see there's really not a lot of searches for a certain product that you want to be an affiliate for, or a certain type of product that you want to be affiliate for, that might be a red flag that it might not be worth your time, especially if it's like a lower ticket item that might not make you as much. Or same with the real-time lead finder. If you do a search and in the last week or so you don't really see anyone talking about a product or talking about the niche that it's in or asking relevant questions, that might be a sign that hey, maybe there's not that big of a market out there. Now, if you're selling something where you make like tens of thousands of dollars a sale, you don't need a lot of leads. But if you're making like $50 a sale, obviously you need more leads off that to have it be worthwhile. So do that first. Then, after deciding on a product, create a site or blog for a review of it. So one way to make good money off of affiliate marketing is to write reviews and such of other products. And with that review, you want to also make sure that you're targeting the easier, lucrative keywords based on the keyword tool and following our SEO tips that we give throughout WebFire, like having the keyword you're trying to rank for somewhere in the title tag of your web page or your blog post, using it at least once or twice throughout the content, and just basics like that right there. You'd be shocked at the number of people that try to rank for keywords that they never even use on their site, which can really be a challenge to do right there. You can then turn around and turn that review into a video with the Video Firestorm tool inside of WebFire and submit that to give you additional traffic and potential rankings. What's cool about videos in this case, especially like review type ones, there's people that might look specifically just on YouTube for reviews, so you have a chance of grabbing them there. But videos themselves can also rank on Google and such too, so you have a chance of ranking there and getting traffic off that too. And with the Video Firestorm tool, it makes it very easy to whip those out very, very fast and to get those optimized and all that right there. But very few people take advantage of that right there, and I think they're missing out on a lot of traffic. And for reviews especially, this makes a lot of sense. You also want to then use all of the lead tools to find people talking about that product or competitors, so you can not only chime in to attract potential buyers, but you can build backlinks and such at the same time to increase your review rankings. And this is really like a double win, because you can find guys that might be perfect as buyers or people looking for reviews on a product or anything like that, where, if you chime in for just a half minute to a minute saying, hey, I see, you're talking about this product, or I see you're asking for a review or experience with this or that, here's some pros, here's some cons, you can check out a full review that, I wrote right here. That's providing value and possibly turning that prospect into a sale for you. But at the same time, it's bringing backlinks to your post or your videos, which can help increase your rankings there as well. So it's a win-win on both sides. Now, for new reviews on different products, pick one new one a week and repeat the process as your action plan. This shouldn't take more than a couple to a few hours for the entire thing. And, it's much faster once you get more experience at it. So, you could probably do this entire process in less than like an hour, including writing the review and everything. One yeah, my phone, I always forget to silence the one phone next to me.
I just want to know when you're going to ask your daughter how to reprogram the phone. I think that should be her New Year gift to you.
I don't know how she actually changed it, but she somehow changed the ringtone to be a Christmas song. I've played around with it, and I don't even see any setting on the phone to change that. Yeah, so with that, getting back on track right now, for the new reviews, once you're actually good at this, you can write the review, you can turn it into a video, you can find some prospects, you can do all that in less than like an hour. If you're brand new to it, and you've never done any of that, sure, it might take you like 2 hours, maybe 3, like the first time or two, but that's still not a ton of time. But if you do one of these a week, it adds up. After a year, you have like 56 reviews and also videos and stuff out there, and that can bring a substantial amount of money to you right there. Because keep in mind, even if, let's say, of the 56 that you do this year, or let's just say like 50 to make it even, if only like 1 out of 5 of those get even a decent amount of traction there, that's a huge win. That's a lot of money that can pour on basically an autopilot without really doing much there, and that's without really taking even additional steps to get even more traffic, like again finding prospects each week or anything like that, which of course you can do to really amplify the amount of leads and sales that you can get off of that. But again, if even 1 out of 5 stick, that can be a substantial amount of money over time. Because what's cool about affiliate reviews and all that is it's not like you make it, do it once, and it makes money for like a few days and that's it. These can last for months or even years, and in a lot of cases years upon years for the right kind of products out there. So it really adds up over time. But a lot of people that try this maybe try one, and then they stop right there. They don't do anything else, and they wonder why they don't get like insanely awesome results that basically others get. So if you stick to a plan like this, it can do quite well. And realistically, again, we're talking like 1 to 3 hours a week here. I mean, literally anyone and everyone can find the time to do this plan right here. So keep that in mind. The second business type that we have an action plan for is what I call big ticket products, and that's like if you're selling any kind of high price point product. It could be high price point software, it could be coaching, and by high price point, I'm basically talking like 1,000 plus, or it could be even in the thousands or tens of thousands. So I mean, expensive stuff basically, where you get 1 or 2 sales a month, and that's a pretty substantial amount of money. If you're selling big ticket products, it's more worth your time to reach out to individual prospects more so than wait for them to come to you. So if there's a guy that's worth, let's say, $5,000 to you, okay, it's worth your time to try to find those guys more versus waiting for them to come to your site. Now, you can still create a website, use the keyword and SEO tools and so forth to help you, just like with the prior example though. But if you more actively go out there to try to find prospects, use the lead tools, so on and so forth, it can definitely be way more worth your time. So with that, you can use the lead tools to find prospects that are talking about things either directly or indirectly related to your big ticket product and engage them in a conversation on the spot to attract the prospects to you. For instance, if you sell, I don't know, let's say you're, trying to think of a good example here. Let's say you're like, a lawyer, okay, and you do, online contest law, okay. It's worth your time, and let's say the average client to you is worth 10 grand, okay? It's worth your time to find prospects out there asking legal questions related to online contests. Take a minute or two to basically answer them, and then maybe offer them a free consultation or anything like that to try to draw some prospects to you and possibly turn those into actual clients. Does it take some work and time? Yes, but if even like a fraction of those guys turn into paying clients, that's a lot of money to you. Or if you sell, let's say, some kind of high-end coaching, like let's say you're a health coach or anything like that. It's worth your time to find the guys out there that might be the best prospects for you. Reach out to them and help them on the spot. The other thing that you can, which again you can do with the lead tools inside of WebFire. The other thing that you can do too is create videos and blog posts giving useful content that naturally would lead into your big ticket product or your big ticket item. For instance, like again, let's say let's use the online lawyer one. You can create like videos or blog posts like, hey, 3 things to watch out for when creating an online contest, where it gives them kind of like a tidbit of essentially info. But they really need to reach out to you or follow up with you to get the arrest. And Sean, you had like the perfect saying for that the other day when we talked. You worded it much easier than me, but I was like, you always want to give like enough info to pique their interest, but you don't want to give them like all the info that they need. Like if the lawyer's doing online contest law, it's not like he wants to write a book and say, hey, follow all these things right here and you'll be perfectly fine, versus given a handful of tips, but really they would still need to hire him to kind of get the complete picture and make sure that they're perfectly safe there. So Sean, if you're on still, what was that?
So the term I used was useful but incomplete.
Exactly.
So, and lawyers are really good at being incomplete. Not always good at useful, but being incomplete. And of course, if you're going to be an expert, you don't have to give people all the answers. You can just tell, look, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this other thing, but we'd have to examine the specific circumstances of your case or your site or your business to be able to give you, more specific information and help you out.
Yeah. So again, like if you do that right there, and it's really easy to create videos with our tools or blog posts and stuff where you can give out some useful info where it's kind of almost like like I view it almost like a bunch of like not necessarily traps out there, but like little hooks that you throw out there. And if you throw out like a dozen hooks, you might catch a couple fish. And if you throw out a bunch of blog posts and videos there where you give the useful tidbits and stuff out there, people will eventually come across that. And you'd be shocked. Like I have content and stuff out there from years and years and years and years ago that I didn't even intentionally mean to really like capture clients or anything, but I'll have guys that they'll write me each week saying, oh, I came across this post or I came across that, and it's like, I didn't even know that I had that. But again, they're finding it out there online one way or another, and it's these little hooks that lead them back to you. And you can do that same thing right there, and these hooks that you do can last for years and years and years. So you might not get a sale the next day or the next week or even the next month off of one hook, but eventually, there's a good chance that you might. And over time, especially at a big ticket price point, if one hook even gets $1,000 dollar sale, imagine, you know, how many hooks you'd want to basically do at that point, even if you had to wait a while to, you know, reel in the big fish there. You also can use the social poster fire tool inside of WebFire to put your social media on autopilot to engage with prospects over social media like Facebook and Twitter. But also be sure to individually follow up with those who comment and you like. And again, make sure that your posts are highly relevant to your item, especially examples of useful tips where you show off social proof and such. And a very good example of how this works well is, you know, let's say that you're a high-end health coach, okay? So let's say you have like a coaching offer where you do like a video series or like a webinar series where you guarantee that all your clients will lose at least 10 pounds, you know, within the next month or so, or, you know, whatever offer sounds, you know, attractive enough to you. What you could do is on Facebook and Twitter and such, especially more so on the Facebook side where, you know, you can basically post more or post longer, you know, tidbits and stuff like that, is you can share case studies or examples of maybe like clients of yours, or how little tidbits can have drastic results, whether it helped you or a client of yours or anything like that. For instance, you could say, hey, this is how you know, Kate you know, lost 22 pounds in 35 days, or, you know, something like that. So it has a very interesting title. A lot of people say, well, gee, I want to lose some weight too. Gee, I'm really curious to learn how Kate lost all this much weight so quickly. And it's, you know, it's not only like clickbait, but it not only is an interesting story or blog post or video that people want to see, but on top of it, it sets you up as the expert. So again, you're the person that helped Kate. Versus like, you know, if you do a post that says, hey, I'm the ultimate health expert, I'm really good, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. You know, people don't really trust you. They don't know if you really know what you're talking about, and it's not nearly as exciting for them to hear you brag about yourself. Whereas if you tell a story about how someone lost weight or how you helped them, that's much more interesting, and it grabs people's attention much more and makes you look like a cool, good guy that knows what you're basically talking about, and they're more likely to follow up with you then. But just make sure to also follow up. If they leave a comment or ask a question, make sure to reply to them right there and engage them right there as well. Or like, let's say let's say if you want like an internet marketing example, you know, it could be for, let's say, SEO, you know, hey, this is how I got such and such site ranked from nowhere to page 1 in X amount of days, spending only 10 minutes on it. That's an interesting, you know, kind of subject that a lot of people that might be interested in ranking would probably want to check out. So again, just keep that in mind right there. That can help a ton, especially in landing like high-end clients. You can also use the guest blog post finder inside of WebFire to find opportunities for you to get your name and brand exposed. And this is more worth your time if you have like a big ticket item. You can see places that you can do guest blog posts on where you're featured as the authority, as the expert. You get a lot of new, you know, eyeballs seeing your stuff and all that right there, and that can lead to more sales in the end. So again, not too hard to find that right there. And of course, keep in mind that engaging with prospects and doing social media for an hour or two a week can have a big effect over time. So this is one where, you know, you want to actively each week spend at least an hour or two engaging with people and leads out there online that you proactively find and try to help them out, because in the long run that can lead to, you know, a lot of sales for you. I mean, imagine if, let's say you spend an hour or two a week and it takes you a month to land a client that's worth $1,000 to you. When you turn that into time spent, we're talking 4 to 8 hours for a $1,000 client. And, you know, and again, this applies to even if you're selling like a $5,000 thing or anything like that. If you engage with enough of these guys, it's an accumulative effect where it starts to add up quickly over time, because not only are you finding those, you know, new leads, but people in the future might happen across the old posts that you've done too, and they might jump on board as well. So it's kind of like a win-win on both ways. You get those new leads, and you get like a bunch of more like fish hooks out there that for years and years and years might hook in more and more clients and such. So the next business example is for an e-commerce site. So this is like if you're selling physical products of any kind, or anything on a traditional e-commerce site or a Shopify type site, anything like that. It's super important that you use the keyword tool and the website analysis tool to basically analyze your site for keywords to optimize for. This is huge because in this case, if you're selling a lot of products off of like an e-commerce site, you want to make sure that you rank individually for at least most or some of those products right there. So make sure that you use the keyword tool ahead of time to see which ones have the best chance of ranking, and then use the website analysis tool on each of the web pages to make sure that you optimize each one for those keywords. Now, one huge thing is to use the relevant keywords in your image alt tags for your products on the site, as Google and the like can rank images themselves very high to attract more customers to you. So if let's say you sell, I don't know, let's say you sell pug t-shirts, like the little ugly dogs. If you sell those shirts, make sure that, if you have a picture of that pug shirt, make sure that, the actual image alt tag says like, pug t-shirt or pug sweatshirt or sweater, or, something that's relevant to it right there, because Google oftentimes will not just rank a site, but they'll rank actual pictures towards the very top too. So when someone clicks the actual picture, they can end up at your store where they can buy. And people like seeing the products and stuff when they do a search like that right there. And luckily, we have easy tools built in to do just that. Not only does a website analysis tool have a button that you can click to go to basically the image alt tag maker, but there's the SEO Inferno tool that can easily help make those changes and stuff for you inside of the image alt tag tool there. So again, super easy but highly effective. Another huge thing is to create a schema with the schema maker inside of WebFire to help with your rankings as well. So this can easily be used on the e-commerce site. We actually have essentially an option for like an e-commerce or a Shopify type site. So you can list your product prices, you can list your inventory if you want, you can list reviews, all that right there can make you stand out way more and get more clicks and rank better as well. You also want to make sure that each individual web page for each product is highly optimized for just that product to give each product a chance to rank. And this is a huge mistake that I see a lot of guys make. They'll have like a web page where, let's say they sell dog shirts, and they have like 20 different breeds, and they have like 3 shirts for each one, and they try to rank every page for the exact same term, like dog shirt or dog sweatshirt, when ideally it should be every individual product should have its own page essentially, where each one, like there might be one for pug t-shirt, pug sweater, pug hoodie, and then there might be one for wiener dog t-shirt, wiener dog sweatshirt, wiener dog hoodie, Siberian husky t-shirt, and so on and so forth. Because again, you're trying to pinpoint down, so Google knows that, hey, this page right here is specifically on this search. So if someone is doing a search for a Siberian husky t-shirt, what do you want them to find? You want them to find a Siberian husky t-shirt, exactly what they're searching for. So you want to make sure that you optimize each individual page specifically for just that one product right there. So in the vast majority of cases, you want to do that right there, because that will give you a huge chance of ranking better. You also want to get additional backlinks through creating videos, doing some blog posts and so forth, which can also drive more traffic to you as well. So all the stuff that we just talked about can have a huge effect on getting you more ranks and traffic, but on top of that, you can go the extra mile and get like additional backlinks through creating, videos and blog posts and all that, and again, just throwing out more fish hooks there. And for like an e-commerce site, these typically require more upfront work and less ongoing work in terms of like the ranking and the SEO, but you'll need to repeat the process for new products that you add. So like once you get it optimized for a certain term, you have a good chance of ranking for a long time for those terms. So there's not as much ongoing work, but every time you add a new product, you want to make sure to repeat the process for each one. So if you want to add like a new product a week or a new product each month, just make sure to repeat the process right here. Now next up, I have a business action plan for a local business. So if you're a local business or if you want to work with one, pay attention to this. You want to first make sure to use the keyword tool and the website analysis tool to make sure that your site is optimized for the best keywords possible, especially localized type keywords. A lot of people, oftentimes I see examples of local sites that don't even mention, in their title or anywhere what city or town that they're in, which doesn't really tell Google a lot about you. I've even found guys that don't even mention anywhere on their site where they're from. They just assume that people somehow know. You also want to use the schema maker as well for your local business details. Again, in this schema maker in WebFire, you can pick local business and just fill in all the info that it's asking for, like your business hours and all that right there, and that will give you a good chance of not only ranking well on Google, but also having a lot more info on your business show up, which is absolutely huge right there. I mean, even when you can list like your number, and your hours, it makes you look like a pro, and it's far more likely, to get you ranked and get you traffic and such. You also want to make sure that each individual web page has a product or feature that has keywords basically optimized for what you want to rank locally for. For instance, for a client of ours that was a tennis shop, not only would he want to rank for terms like tennis shop Madison or tennis shop, Madison, Wisconsin, or terms like that, and you also want, in individual pages geared towards like, tennis racket restringing Madison, tennis shoes Madison, stuff like that. So if someone's not looking for a tennis shop, but they're looking for tennis shoes or a place that sells them, in Madison, they'll happen across that site. So keep that in mind right there. Or if you're like a lawyer, let's say you're a lawyer or you have a law firm and you specialize in like three things. Like let's say you do, let's say you do immigration law, let's say you do real estate law, and some other third kind of law. It's okay to mention all three of those on like your main homepage, but you want to have like a separate page on your site for each individual one where you optimize specifically for that speciality. So, have a page specifically that talks about, the real estate, law. So you can rank for terms like, real estate lawyer in, Atlanta or whatever place that you want right there. So it just gives you more chances of actually ranking for specific terms that people are looking for. And of course, you want to make sure that on the local terms that you're trying to rank for, make sure that you take into account like other local towns that might be around you. Like, if you're a lawyer, maybe you want to rank not only for like, terms in your main city, but possibly ones that are like, 15 minutes outside of your city or near you and such too. And one key to help there is just, mention the cities or towns that you serve on your site as well. That can help a great deal too. You can, of course, also optionally create videos using the Video Firestorm tool as well for extra rankings too. Like you can make a video, all about, what basically the tennis shop does or what your law firm specializes in, or, for each of the things that, let's say, that your law firm does, you can create, a video for each one, giving some more info on that and making sure that, you optimize for local keywords as well. Or let's say that you're a dentist, okay? And let's say you do, normal dentistry, let's say you do cosmetic dentistry and teeth whitening and all that right there, you can create, like, let's say a video of how teeth whitening is done by you in Madison, Wisconsin, and you can go through the process and stuff right there. So if someone's looking for a teeth whitening dentist, they can happen across you because they see that either your site is optimized for that or you have a video on that right there. And again, it's just more and more fishhooks that lead people back to you. You can also use the competition backlink tool inside of WebFire to discover where your competitors are getting their traffic from and try to get links, ads, or guest blog posts on those sites as well. So you can literally see where your competition is getting its traffic from and try to make deals with those places as well. On a local scale, oftentimes like even trading backlinks and stuff can help a lot on a local scale because if they see that, hey, the orthodontist has a link up to the dentist and vice versa, that tells Google that, hey, they probably trust each other, they're probably both legit places, they're still relevant even though they're not necessarily competing, and those can help especially on the local side. Now, local business marketing or ranking usually again requires more work up front but far less work later. So again, you can do most of the upfront stuff in like a few hours or less, and there's not really a ton of ongoing stuff that you have to do at that point. So again, like if you have a local business, maybe make it your goal that in the next week or two you set like a few hours aside just to do and change up all the stuff right here, and then maybe like a few hours a month you might go and create some more videos or some more pages and just throw out additional fishhooks out there. But once you have the main site optimized, that alone should give you a huge boost. And naturally that brings us to our next topic or our next business type, which is selling web services to others, including selling it to local businesses. And the first thing is you should do everything in the prior example but for your own clients. So make sure to do the prior action plan before your own clients. But on top of that, you'll want to create videos explaining why some local sites rank and why others don't. Like you could do a video where it's just a recording of your screen using like a video recording tool like Camtasia or Cam Studio, where you say, hey, these guys rank because they mention the keywords in their title, they use it throughout their site, they do this and that, whereas these guys on page 2 or 3 don't rank well because of this and that. And when you make a video like this and then you send the relevant video out to relevant prospects that you're targeting, you seem like basically an expert. Versus instead of you saying, hey, trust me, I know I know SEO and I can help you rank, you're saying, hey, this is why these guys rank, this is why these guys don't, here's why you probably don't rank well. They're like, wow, this guy really knows what he's actually talking about. And when you're saying, hey, this is what you have to change, all these guys are like, wow, this guy legitimately knows what he's talking about. He's telling me what I have to do to change it. But guess what? The vast majority of these guys don't want to take the time to change it themselves, or they don't know how, so they need you to help change it for them. And you've already proved to them that you know what you're talking about. So like you could make a video for dentists on why some dentists do and don't rank, and then again send it out to your dentist prospects in that city or town, and that can be a very effective method right there. And again, just getting even like 1 or 2 of these clients each month or even each week, if you want to be really aggressive there, can really add up quick over time, because you can charge these guys like a monthly fee for a lot of these kinds of services and stuff, and you don't need a ton of these guys to have a worthwhile business right here. You can also use the website analysis tool to send your prospects a free website analysis and then mention that you can fix all of those issues for them to improve their rankings easily. So at that point, you're basically saying, hey, here are all the problems with your site if you're trying to rank for this term right here, and I can fix all those issues for you. That's, they'll say, wow, I never knew why I didn't rank. Now I do, and gee, I don't know what half of these things mean, so I'd rather hire you to fix it all for me right there. So, and again, you're extending, the leaf by not only telling them how to rank, you're giving them a free report. So they're getting a lot of stuff for free. You're not some guy just randomly trying to sell them. You're legitimately helping them and looking like way cooler of a guy than a guy that just randomly walks up and says, hey, do you want to hire my services, basically. And now if you target one group each week, like maybe dentists in Madison one week, and then dentists in Atlanta, then dentists in Chicago, or dentists in Sydney, or wherever you might want to be. And then after you go through all those, you can do chiropractors or cosmetic dentists or whatever you want. It can literally be anything. If you basically target one group each week, you can whip this process out in under a couple hours once you're good at it. If you're really good, you can do this in less than an hour easily. And again, if you just do hey, try to send it to a handful of dentists in one place one week, and then maybe next week send it to a handful of dentists in another place with a new video that's geared towards that place. You're literally repeating everything in the video that you just made, but you're just showing it in a different city or town, basically. So again, you can whip these out probably easily under a half hour. And if you do this each week, again, not taking that much time, just emailing these guys, eventually you'll have a very good chance of landing some sales. And if you think about it, if you're charging, let's say, $500 a month, which isn't all that much, in a lot of cases you could charge like $1,000 plus. You don't need a lot of clients to have a full-time income off that right there, or to have a very successful business. And if you just, again, do a little work each week, this adds up over time if you're persistent at it. But again, a lot of people fail when they just don't take the time to either do this or go the extra mile with this here. And the last business model for an action plan here that we'll talk about is if you have basically an info product one, or you want to sell an info product if you don't have one yet. The first thing you want to do if you don't have one is to use the keyword tool and the real-time lead finder to see what the interest is in the market before creating a new product. So that means if you have an idea to create let's say an info product on how to weave baskets, okay? Search on it and see, gee, are there leads out there that are asking questions on this? Are they talking about it? What does the keyword tool say? Are there a lot of searches? If there are a lot of searches or a lot of people that are basically talking about it or asking questions on the real-time lead finder, that's a good indication that, hey, there might be a decent market here. Whereas if the keyword tool says, hey, there's not really a lot of searches and no one's really asking questions or talking about this, that might be an indication that maybe you should look at a different product to start, with your info product. Not in all cases, but in the vast majority, if no one's talking about it and the keywords searches are all low, that's not a good sign. So once you decide on one, or if you already have one, it's typically much harder to rank for a traditional squeeze page or an opt-in page, or an info product sales page. So although you can use the traditional SEO tips to help here, you'll also want to look elsewhere for basically getting lots of traffic. Reason being is Google basically knows that the majority of people don't want to basically end up on a squeeze page or a simple one-page sales page in the vast majority of cases. So they tend not to try to rank those that well. Now, is it possible to rank those? Yes, I've done it myself, but it's not necessarily the suggested route that I would go, because again, they tend to favor content and stuff like that a lot more for a lot of cases like this. But that's nothing to worry about, because there's plenty of other ways to get lots of traffic for this kind of thing right here. So one thing that you can do is you can create lots of short videos and content or blog posts that give tidbits relevant to your info product to lure prospects into your funnels and gain additional rankings. And again, it's like the fish hook policy. The more you throw out there, the more chance you have of hooking some prospects. You also can use the competition backlink tool to see where your competitors are getting their traffic from, and then reach out to those sources to try to strike either joint ventures, ad deals, guest blog posts, and so forth, as just one of these can be a huge source of traffic or money. And this is oftentimes overlooked. Like if you have, let's say an info product that you think is really good, that you think, hey, a lot of people could benefit from this, or you have a sales page that's really good that you think would sell well, it's worth your time to reach out to basically other partners or stuff that might have a larger source of traffic or a larger market share, where they might say, hey, gee, I get a lot of traffic, but I don't have enough products, or I could really use more products to sell to make even more. And when you reach out to these guys, you could propose joint venture deals, or even what we call white label deals, which is where you allow them to sell your product as theirs under their name and everything, and you're just paid a cut. That can work out real well too. And just one of these deals can be worth a ton of money, but very few people take the time to do so. It's amazing at how much money is sitting there, waiting for guys to come across and just basically ask. I mean, if you just ask, a bunch of these large traffic source places, or other marketers or business owners, if they'd be interested, you'll eventually get some takers if you have a good product or a good sales page or anything like that right there. So again, don't feel like you have to get all the traffic yourself. You can use a tool like this to see who the big guys are and go straight to them to try to land a deal. You can also use the lead tools to find leads that might be interested in your products, and ideally usually send them to a free offer or a blog post with free useful content to start your funnel. Now, in some rare cases, you can send them straight to like a sales page, but usually if you find guys asking questions on stuff related to your info product, if you send them to some useful content of yours on a blog, or you send them to like a free offer of yours for like an opt-in page where they get some stuff for free, that can work real well, and it comes off as you being like a super nice guy. And an example that could work both ways is for a speeding ticket. Let's say you have a course on how to get out of a speeding ticket. Okay, you could use, like, let's say the tweet lead finder tool inside of WebFire to literally find tons and tons and tons, I mean hundreds to thousands of people a day complaining about how they got a speeding ticket. So you could do one of two things. One, you could say, hey, there's a cool course here on how to get out of a speeding ticket, and send them to a sales page, which some guys might be okay with, some guys might not like. But if you sent them to like a blog post or a video that gave a couple of tips of how to get out of a speeding ticket, and you said, hey, you might want to check out this right here, it gives some useful info on how to get out of a speeding ticket, hope it helps, they view you as being super cool and useful. And then at the end of the video or the blog post, if you say, hey, as a special offer, they can get your full course on how to get out of a speeding ticket, where you give even more tips, and you guarantee that they'll either get out of the ticket completely, or they get 100% of their money back. That's a pretty compelling offer that can work really well right there. And of course, with that, you want to also make sure that your products are either in lucrative funnels or are priced well enough to make it worth your while. So this is just a point I want to make a point of saying right here, because sometimes I see guys that their entire model is to sell a $7 product, which can be really hard if there's no back end, there's no upsell. I mean, it's very hard to make a lot of money off a $7 product. Now, if you have a $7 product and you have like upsells on the back end that are worth a lot more, or the leads are worth a lot more to you, yes, that can work right there. But again, just keep that in mind as well right there, and you should be perfectly fine with that. So in all of the cases, it's super important to take action, even if it's imperfect action. I see a lot of guys that literally take years and they don't even take step one because they're too afraid of messing up. It's okay to do imperfect action, but take action now. Don't find something to get either stuck on or an excuse to quit. Keep going and just do what you can. It doesn't matter if it takes you a little longer or if it's not as perfect. That's perfectly fine. Just take the action right there. Set some time aside each week where all you do is work on your business, even if only for an hour or two. Even if you say, hey, I only have an hour a week, that's perfectly fine. I think you can probably find more time, but if you're saying, hey, I can only do, let's say, an hour a week, then take a solid hour where all you do is one of these things right here, and consistently do that each and every week. And when you commit to that, where it becomes a habit, it can have a drastic effect on your income and the chance of you succeeding in what you're basically doing right here. So with that, guys, we'll go to the Q&A, then we'll do the cash giveaway right after. And for the giveaway, like always, you'll want to go to getwebfire.com/FB group. That's our free Facebook group there. If you're not a member and you go to that link and sign up, you'll get approved usually within like a minute, especially if you do it right now. And then you'll see a post from Sharon today that says, hey, what did you guys think of this call? If you leave a comment under there on what you thought or anything at all, we'll pick a random commenter to win $100 today. So just go to getwebfire.com/FB group. And with that, we'll do the Q&A while guys do that as well. So Sean, if you saw any questions or anything while I was basically talking, or any new ones or anything like that, feel free to shout out those, and we'll try to answer them as best as we can. And in the meantime, guys, you can go to that link and leave that comment.
Okay, so somebody asked, how come it's already January 4th and they're not rich yet? And so my response is because you didn't hit the lottery. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, stuff doesn't happen magically, and we all know that. What we want to make sure you guys are doing is both getting your plans down and getting started. We were doing another training yesterday, and like yesterday, today, a lot of the questions that we're seeing are things where you guys are just overthinking the whole process of getting started on some of the stuff that you need to be doing. And you need to not worry about complicated details and just do stuff. Look, when you do these things, you're going to make mistakes. Okay? And so let's ask a question. How many people on this call, if you're a heart surgeon, okay, then I want you to put me in the chat box. Okay? Let's see how many heart surgeons we have here. There's a deafening emptiness. Somebody typed in me. Somebody else typed in I wish. Okay. The reason I say that is, listen, unless you're like a heart surgeon, nothing you're going to do is life and death. Okay? Seriously. The world's not going to end if you make a mistake. Okay? I know it feels like it, but you guys will accomplish so much more by doing than by sitting around thinking of all the different things you haven't thought of. And I had a really interesting conversation, this might be like 15 years ago now, with a guy who's a very successful online marketer and a business owner, who pointed out a thing, a self-sabotaging thing that like everybody does just naturally. And so I want to share the story with you because I think it's informative and important, and you'll see how all of us tend to do this. And he said, I started out, he said, and I was going to make a website, and I made a website, and then I was going to start promoting it. But I thought, well, I never did this before, so I had to get somebody who knows something about something to look at this before I promote it. There's a friend of mine who's really good with color, so I'm going to get her to look at it and make sure she thinks the colors are okay. And so he does that, and she tells him to change a color, and he changes the color. And then the next week it's like, well, I'm not really good with grammar, and my friend, he's really good with English grammar, so I'm going to get him to look at it and read through it and make sure that looks okay before I actually, turn this live. And he goes through this long series of reasons why he's going to make this site perfection, right? Getting everybody to look at it, blah, 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 blah. Now, you could argue, like my father would argue this, because he's a perfectionist. He almost tore down an entire wall of paneling one time when I was younger, when he was redoing our house, because he got to the end of the wall and the one piece was like a millimeter short. And this bothered him terribly. I mean, this was angst for weeks over the fact that he knew that piece was a little bit short. Now, no other human being was ever going to notice the difference, but my dad knew, and it bothered him. Okay, and so other than him, y'all got to realize that perfection is unattainable. Okay, you're not going to get it, and that all of this search for perfection is really just a big, simple way to justify procrastinating. Okay, because if you get something up on your site and you start promoting, it's good enough. You can tweak it, fix it, improve it, add stuff to it later. Okay, I can't tell you how many people, because I see a lot of marketing in a lot of niches, there are guys doing $1 million a year and their main landing pages have typos on them, misspelled words. Okay, I know some of you are shuddering going, well, I could never do that. Now think about this. Okay, it's a good question for you. How many of you wouldn't care how the words are spelled on the page if you could simply do $1 million in revenue a year? How many of you could live with the misspelling for $1 million a year? Now you can all type me in the chat box. Right? Yeah, Deb said she could, but you'd have to fix it. I don't care if you fix it or not. Okay? I know guys that were afraid to fix typos when they first ran offers that literally run full-page magazine ads that have typos in them because they're afraid to fix them because they're afraid it'll change the results, so they just keep running them with typos in them on purpose. Okay? Guys, all the stuff you're worried about, you know, should you capitalize every word in the title? Should the title be this font or that font? None of that stuff matters. What matters is just go out there and do some stuff. Okay? Will you make mistakes? Yes, you will. I promise you that. So stop worrying about that. Okay? Because it's going to happen. We make mistakes all the time. Okay? On New Year's Day when I was working, because yes, I'm pretty much online looking at stuff every day, I clicked on an ad for the survival niche that we have a big business in from one of our competitors because it was a new offer. I wanted to see what it was. Get to the landing page, and their countdown timer is broken because whoever coded it didn't program it so that when it hit 2017, it would automatically update. So there was just blankness at the top of the page. Company does easily $1 million a month in sales. Glaring error on their big New Year's Day promotion. Now, you know, I'm sure somebody got chewed out over it, but hey, the promotion went out, people clicked, people bought, I'm sure still, right? You know, they made a mistake, still got paid, okay? So I so encourage you to just go do stuff. Some of you have been on these webinars for weeks now, and you're asking questions, and we're answering questions, and we're trying to help you out. But y'all just got to start, you know, actually, you know, promoting something, anything. Put up a site, put content on it, go do stuff. Okay, now that I said all that, all of you should have entered the giveaway, Brian, and we can answer questions now.
All right, so I've just been answering a couple of questions in the chat while you've been saying that. All right, so this is a great point that Dan said right here. He said, I find that if I only tend to spend 1 or 2 hours per week, that I spend a half hour getting back up to speed. What do you suggest? Well, a lot of people find, like, again, little reasons to, like, procrastinate. And, like, you know, if your goal, like, let's say your goal is to, like, respond to a handful of leads using the lead tools each week for, like, let's say an hour a week, don't procrastinate. Just jump straight into doing just that. Or, you know, if your goal is to write a new review each week and basically optimize that, you know, review and so forth, you know, do what you can to jump straight into doing just that. Or if you find that, like, you know, your natural habit that you can't shake really is to, like, procrastinate for, like, an extra half hour or try to, like, start up slow or get back up to speed, then, you know, allow yourself an extra half hour, worst comes to worst. But once you get this into, like, a habit, it will become, like, basically natural for you, so it's not like you have to relearn anything or go through it again. So in time, that wouldn't be a problem. All right. So Paul Yes and no. So Paul, I know I think Sean or Sharon wrote back, but it's actually yes and no for your answer. So he asked, can WebFire help produce a list of competitor URLs, which would be good for pay-per-view marketing? There's not a specific tool for that, as Sean or Sharon just wrote, but under the competition section, there's a tool called backlinks. So you can go to the competition, then you click on backlinks, and you can get the URLs of competitors, and you can also see where your competitors are also getting their backlinks and stuff from, or getting their traffic from, and you can use that to get URLs that you could use for the PPV marketing, or that you just instantly email all those guys and see what their ad costs would be, or if they're interested in like a joint venture deal or anything like that. So in a way, yes. All right.
Oh, this is an awesome question.
All right, what's that?
So Tom asks, if you do a schema, well, okay, I got to rephrase this so it makes sense to everybody without being able to read the question. So let's say you're want to help a local pizza restaurant with their online marketing, and a competitor for a specific keyword already shows up in Google with a schema, or at least Google's version of the schema and the information. And he asks, if you do a schema for your client, the competitor, can they show up and share the information on the right side of Google? And the answer is no. You're generally not going to share the Google's going to pick a winner, right? That they're going to show number one, and with that top expanded listing. So it's not a question of sharing; it's a question of beating your competition. All right, which you can do, right? Because all you got to do is analyze that competing site. First of all, your client would need to have schema, right, installed, so Google can pick up and grab that information. Okay, that alone will increase the importance of that website and the value to Google in the search results. And then you're going to do the things you normally do: do a site analysis on the competition, do a site analysis on your client. Then you're going to find what the difference is, which probably is a question of what the page quality is and the keyword quality is on your page, as well as the backlinks to your site, and just go improve those, and you're going to beat the competition. And then your client is going to get the expanded listing. They're going to all the schema information, everything else, as well as the top listing, as well as that expanded listing with multiple categories if you set them up. They obviously have to be on their site first of all, but if you've got like the lunch menu, dinner menu, all the hours of operation, all that kind of stuff that you could post up there. Make sense?
Yeah, and on that too, I want to just say, like, if there's like, let's say your client's pizza restaurant, as you said, if there's only one place, yeah, they might occupy the entire right side or anything like that. But let's say there's like 10 pizza places. Google has to basically choose a few of those to show on the front page for like not the website listing itself necessarily, but like the phone numbers, the name, the addresses, and all that. And they usually pick like just a few of those. And if you have the schema and if you have the info there, they're far more likely to pick you. So the question isn't necessarily, can I beat all the competitors? It's which of 10 pizza places, which would you rather be? One of the 3 or so that are listed, with their number and their hours and all that right there at the top of page 1, or the other 7 of the 10 which don't have that info there. Clearly you want to be one of the winners, at the top right there. So that's just more on that. So we have a question here: if they're brand new, where do they start? Well, you can start anywhere, including, I gave you several ideas in this call right here, like the affiliate marketing with writing reviews and stuff like that. Start there. I can tell you're overthinking. You can literally do what was mentioned as the first business plan right there, write some affiliate reviews. We also have a lot of prior training on how to do affiliate reviews and all that. That's super easy to start with, and you can start that literally, this week. So again, don't overthink it. I'd rather have you jump in than try to spend months trying to learn how to do every little tidbit and whatnot there. Someone asked to make a schema. Is there usually enough public info on the website, or do you need to ask the owners? Usually there's enough info on the site itself, but if not, just ask them. I mean, literally, the schema maker is like fill in the blank. Like it's, what is the name? What's your phone number? What's your address? What are your hours? And you can usually get most of the info from the site, but if not, just ask them. Problem solved there. All right, Tom asked here, he said when he does the Q&A tool on the Yahoo Answer side, there's sometimes very few results. And on the answer side, it sometimes does not allow a link. What should he do? Well, Tom, if you don't get a lot of results, there's one of two things. One, you can try different kinds of keywords. I oftentimes find guys that don't get many results are trying for like too long or too specific of a keyword. And again, like any kind of keyword that you can think of, there's probably dozens if not hundreds of different terms that you can do. Like for instance, let's take weight loss just as an example. You could try for weight loss, you could try diet, you could try how to lose weight. I mean, there's tons of different terms that you could use right there. But if you go too specific, like let's say you try for an exact phrase of lose weight with diet pills, there's probably not going to be a lot of leads specifically saying those exact phrases side by side. But if you go more broad or try different terms, you should find a lot of them. Or if you find that there's not a lot of results on that with a certain topic, try the real-time lead finder. And if you still don't see a lot of leads there and you think you're trying a bunch of related keywords and you're not too specific or long, that's probably a red flag that you might be in a market that's not all that big. But 9 times out of 10, I find that it's usually guys that are trying keywords that are too specific. And the other thing on that too is, so Yahoo Answers by default allows you to leave links. Now with that, you don't want to be kind of spammy. Like you want to make sure that it's relevant and you provide useful info. But if you're if you're doing an answer and you don't want to leave a link because you're afraid that it might look kind of spammy, you can also say, hey, you can email me here if you have a question, or you can check out a video here, or you can Google this right here and you give like the name of the site or the name of the product or something that that you rank for. And that's one way to drive extra traffic and such there too. That can work well. All right, Mike asked, what's the best tools in WebFire to use for discovering client competition? Well, under the competition tab, go to backlinks, and it's the competition backlink tool, and you can find all the competitors right there. That's one way. I mean, there's other tools where you can look up that too, but that's one of the easiest ways right there. Okay. All right. Paul asked, what does green versus red mean on the keyword search? And there's actually, that's if you watch the tutorial on that, it explains all that. But basically, green's good, red's bad. Green means it's easier to rank for. Red means it's tougher to rank for. It doesn't mean you can't rank for it. It just means it's easier or tougher based upon the competition and a bunch of other stats and stuff. Let's see. All right. All right. This person asks here, do you need domain names for videos they put online as an affiliate. No, you can make videos and stuff that you just throw up on YouTube. You don't have to have a domain name or anything for that. So, all right. All right, and with that, guys, again, oh, and the link is actually on the screen. So there's a couple guys that ask, what's the link to do the comment? It's right on the screen that you see right now, getwebfire.com/FB group. And with that, guys, I'll switch the screen over to that, and we can give some cash away in a minute here. All right, so I'm just going to pause the screen as I go over to that. All right. All right. Just going to refresh the page here. All right, so here is, again, it's getwebfire.com/FB group, and that's the Facebook group page, which is free for all our members and such. And here's the post from Sharon right here, and here are all the comments. So far there's 70 there, plus there's some extra guys that left a comment outside of that, and that's fine. But if you can, try to do it all here, because it's much easier to count then when we do the random give.
And I want you to know, I posted, so I'm going to win.
The last time we actually had, or not last time, but the time prior, our helper Sharon had a post there, and she actually, by random chance, and you saw live, using the random generator, her number was called, but she was nice enough and let us do another giveaway to a different person instead. So with that, guys, I'll give you maybe 10 seconds or so to wrap that up right there, and then we'll give away $100. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, half, quarter, 0. All right, so just refresh that just in case. All right, we have 76 right here. Let's pull up all those. And let's see, there's a couple others we have. All right, and outside of that, we have, let's see. All right, there's some people that posted on the post from yesterday. I'll count those two. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right, so there's 21. I'll stop right there. This was one from yesterday on something else. So there's 21 there, plus, let's see what we have right here. 21 plus 77. So that'd be 101. Oh, no. That would not. That would be,
sorry, I'm enjoying laughing with you in the new year.
98. I counted.
Yeah, we'll just ask the members to do math. See, they're much better at this.
98.
And you guys are all worried about being perfect. Here we are recording Brian being slightly less than perfect.
So 98 will be 1 to 98 right there, and hopefully it's not one in the middle, because that's like the hardest one to count to. Click generate, and 23. So that's not too bad.
That's not my number.
Ah, too bad. Let's see who it is then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So Red Glonk, if I'm saying your name right. If that is you, you are $100 richer. So just make sure to send us your PayPal email. You can mention it in the chat or the question box, and Sharon will get that over to you this afternoon. So you'll get $100 right away. So Redglow Inc., if I'm saying that right. Looks like that's your business name. So Redglow Inc. If that is you, just give out your PayPal info to Sharon, and we'll make sure you're $100 richer. And to everyone else here, I mean, thanks for all the great comments and stuff. We always really appreciate all that. And Sean, are there any last-minute questions or anything before we wrap up?
No, I just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. And again, look forward to being part of your success this year. And please go out, take action, do stuff. Whether it's 5 minutes a day, 5 hours a day, whatever you can put in, just keep pounding away at it. You guys can get a lot of stuff done and accomplish a lot and build great momentum if you just get started. And for those of you who said, well, I've got to go to the gym and lose weight and everything else, forget about the gym. You're going to fall off of that anyway. Focus on building your business. You can buy the gym later, okay? Because
Exactly.
if you spend that same amount of time building your business, you'll just be rocking it, and then you'll have a lot of time to go to the gym later.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, I'm not a guy that goes to the gym.
And if by chance we accidentally missed a question or there's a question that pops up later, just write support@webfire.com or use the support link to go to the help desk inside the members area of WebFire. So that way if there's ever like an email issue, you can always log into the support desk and you'll always see an answer right there. And again, they'll always get back to you within a day or less, usually much faster. So with that, guys, thanks much. Take care. And we look forward to seeing you next week at Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, as always. So take care, guys, and talk to you later.